Hello again! First, a little bit of good news, because I have finished the kitchen episode of my Single 224 Canal House series. And I know a lot of you have been looking forward to it, so I'm happy to say that it will be uploaded tomorrow. For the kitchen room boxes I'm making, I have made these kitchen cabinets. They still need a little bit of work on the paint, but they have a few doors, and of course I needed hinges, and I ordered a lot of them. There they are, and I messed a few up because I had to make them slightly smaller, and so now I didn't have enough, so I looked for them. I couldn't find them anywhere, and then I had the wonderful idea to look in my order history in my emails, and I found what I thought was the order for all of the hinges. And I looked on their website and they still had loads of them, so I ordered 10 packets, which is 60 hinges. And they're the wrong ones. So now I have a ton of them because apparently I had ordered them before. And well, but they're great for doors. I can use them as door hinges, but I mean 60 here, and then I already had lots of them. So how many doors does one need in a doll's house? This past week the London Doll's House Showcase was online, and I had a lot of fun shopping. And one of the people I bought from was Annelies de Kort. And she is a needle worker and a knitter, and she sells lots of patterns as well, so you can knit your own miniatures. And but I love knitted things, and I bought something from her, and it has arrived already, which is good. And I've bought some other things, but they take a lot of time to arrive. Some of them 2.5 months before they get sent. So I know it's a long time before it's Christmas again, but I just love these. Look at the little beads on the top. And I can actually knit myself, and I have knitted these a few years ago from the same pattern actually, and I just make up the detail in there. But I just like to show some support for our local artists. I mean, the Dutch fair has been cancelled this year again, so you know, buy something local. And these I bought partly because I love the color, but also because I would wear them myself. Well, if they were my size, of course. But I have a place in mind where they could go. And these will go in here in the entry of my canal house, where there's a wintry scene of people having just come in from some skating on the canals. And now they can put on some nice warm woolly socks. Actually, it's not freezing at the moment, and there isn't any snow either. Last year around this time we did have a lot of snow and it was quite cold, but it's now 10 degrees Celsius. It's a good thing we can make up our own stories in miniature. A friend of mine was interested in the painting process of the windows with the stained glass pigments, so here's a time-lapse of the process. But first, a bit of glass cutting. After scoring the glass with a glass cutter, I break the glass with these glass breaking pliers or running pliers. But for smaller pieces of glass, I usually just tap the scored line underneath and the glass will just break away very easily. I then thoroughly clean the glass. And after that, I carefully position it over my drawing. And I use gloves for this because you don't want the glass to become dirty again. And after mixing the pigments, I draw the horizontal lines first. And I do that with both glass panes. Then it goes into the kiln and it's fired for the first time. And when the glass has been fired and it's cooled down, I start the whole process again. And this time I do the vertical lines. And so it's cleaning the glass, mixing the pigments, positioning the glass, drawing the lines, and putting it back into the kiln. Now it's going to 50 degrees Celsius now, and I'm keeping that for about half an hour so that the pigments and the oils dry really well. And then I'll ramp up the temperature to eventually around 600 degrees Celsius. And the total firing process takes about 4 hours. Well, more like 4.5 to 5 hours actually, but here you're seeing it sped up and condensed into less than a minute. Dolls' houses and miniatures are everywhere. Like in this book I was given the other day. A beautiful doll's house in a castle in Ireland. And I just flipped open this book to have a look, and it fell open on this page, and there was this doll's house. But they're everywhere. So whenever I spot a doll's house or a miniature, I will show it to you in this item. And then last week I was at a museum exhibition and again I spied some miniatures. And no, it's not this huge inflatable doll, but I did really like the contrast between the two exhibits. This work is by Dutch designer Duran Lantink, who has a zero-waste philosophy and an innovative approach to upcycling. He uses pre-loved garments and deadstock fabrics to create his fashion. The miniature-sized designs in this exhibit are meant as a criticism at the speed at which fashion is consumed. The miniatures force you to slow down and make an effort to look, to focus, and to study the clothes in detail. And that's what I like about miniatures. You have to slow down and focus your mind to see the detail. And I like that there was a different approach, a different reason for creating these miniatures. And he is not the first designer to create a collection in miniature, although he probably is the first one to use his miniature couture as a criticism against the fashion industry. As it is Valentine's Day next week, I leave you with this lovely little book I keep in my study. Inside, the same thing is written in many different languages. Ik hou van je. Ich liebe dich. Je t'aime. I love you.